Hey, let's talk about apathy really quick, which is essentially you not giving a fuck about a lot of different things. And this was a great lesson for me, so I'm going to teach you guys one or two things you probably should know about this. I just got done with a big kind of team-oriented week, right, with a lot of dudes, a lot of people that I work with, where we had to work together to accomplish some really hard things and do a lot of stuff, right? What I learned is that when things get really tough, right, you're not sleeping, you're not eating, and a lot is required from you, right? A couple sleepless nights in a row, that really starts to show cracks in people, right? People kind of get a little needy, they get a little whiny, get a little bitchy. But some of our feedback from the people who were instructing us through this thing was that, hey, it seems like you guys are a little bit unmotivated. Hey, it seems like you guys are apathetic to doing this thing or working together, and communication drops down, attitude drops down, all of this. And one of my favorite books that kind of relates to this is by Mark Manson. It's called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. And that book, a lot of people think that book will teach you how to just not give a fuck. And in reality, what that book actually does is it teaches you what to give a fuck about. It teaches you that you have a finite amount of fucks to give. And when you care about a few things, right, you are able to put more focus and emphasis and attitude and effort into those things. Those are the two things you can always control, your attitude and your effort. And when you care about a few things, like you have a few things that are pretty important to you, those things become important to you. You tend to learn more and excel more at those things. But if you try and give a fuck about everything, and if you try and care about everything, you're not going to be able to advance your individual efforts towards those things. So this is why people are upset about what's going on in our country today, is because everyone's caring about everything, and you can't really care about what other people think. You can't really care about things that you can't control, and you certainly shouldn't, because guess what? You can't control them. So my point is that when you try and care about too much, that actually leads to apathy. And one of the big lessons for this week was that guys are trying to care about so many things right across the board. A lot of that stuff was just plain and simple out of their control, and they shouldn't have cared about it, or they should have delegated it to another person to handle it so that that person now cares about it. And this is what makes good leaders, this is what makes good bosses and makes good friends and makes good relationships, is people will delegate stuff and say, hey, I can't take this, can you handle this, can you get this thing done? And they sort of task organize different people to do different things so that that one person in charge or that one person in leadership doesn't have to care about everything. This is how you identify the teams and the friends and the people you want to keep in your life and out of it. And if you see someone who's a little bit apathetic towards that one thing that you give them, especially in a workplace or in a relationship, you can't care about everything all the time. I'm telling you to start choosing the things that you want to care about and focus on those, right? If you can control it, or you can have some effort to influence the outcome of that, awesome, right? If you can't, let that shit go, right? You're gonna embrace chaos, you're gonna embrace uncertainty at some point, but you have to embrace it and just let it go. Stop trying to care about too many different things. It will cause you not to advance in the direction that you want to. And then the things that are exactly under your control, if you have too many of them, start delegating them or start not giving a fuck about them, because you, at the end of the day, have a finite amount of fucks to give. Stop caring about shit that is out of your control. You can't change other people, you can only change yourself, all right? Hit me up if you want one-on-one coaching. I'm back for a few days, and then I'll be off the grid for a little while until like Christmas. But I'll see you guys in the next one.